This week on Machinery Pete TV, we wrap up Sullivan's online auction from Gemini Farms with a look at this in-demand Hagie STS-12 sprayer. 3 generations have worked with and enjoyed this Farmall M. And Greg talks about the price trends of older combines.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Hey, welcome to Machinery Pete TV, folks, coming at you this week from Morris, Illinois. And I need to introduce you to my new co-host here. Unfortunately, I do not know this beautiful animal's name, but beautiful pasture here on the farm. Now, a little different today, this farm auction is actually online only. And we've got a great line of equipment, including a 36-row planter and a large sprayer that could be hot. And before we watch those sell, let's go back to the studio, catch up on the very latest farm machinery news.
All right, thanks, Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. USDA says you can expect to pay more at the grocery store for a while. It's raising its overall food price inflation outlook as the impact of the coronavirus continues to keep costs higher. USDA now forecasting overall food at home prices will increase between 2.5% and 3.5% this year. Now that's up 0.5% from earlier predictions. Food at restaurants is also expected to rise between 2% and 3%. Of the food categories tracked by the Economic Research Service, here are a couple of examples. So far this year, beef prices are up 10.5%, while fresh fruit prices have fallen 1.4%. $8 billion. That's how much the Renewable Fuels Association predicts ethanol producers will lose in total this year due to the pandemic's impact on world fuel markets. The group quoting that number provided by the economists from the University of Florida and Arizona State University. Now take a look at this one telling graphic. Researchers saying the producer loss due to COVID-19 is $7 billion, but the loss grows to $8.4 billion when the effects of unemployment are included. The loss to corn producers estimated to range from $10.3 to more than $12 billion. And there appears to be some aid for ethanol in the latest coronavirus relief proposal presented this week by House Democrats, with a plan to support processed commodities such as biofuels plants and cotton textile mills. Their $2.2 trillion plan would revive a $600 per week jobless benefit and send a second round of $1,200 direct payments to most individuals. The restaurant industry would get a $120 billion restaurant stabilization fund. Other food and ag-related provisions include additional SNAP and WIC funding, establishing a livestock dealer trust fund, providing payments for livestock and poultry. But the proposal faces a rocky future. Negotiations remain deadlocked, and Republicans say they want a smaller virus package of less than $1 trillion. And let's look at some recent auction prices from around the country.
Well, folks, I tell you what, on today's show, we are going to watch some primo large late model equipment sell. Luke Sullivan with Sullivan Auctioneers. Tell us about this beautiful sprayer.
Yeah, this is a 2017 Hagie STS-12 model sprayer. It's got just around 389 hours on it.
Ooh, wow.
And it's got pretty much every option you can get.
I noticed when you walked up to this thing, you were smiling.
Yeah, this is, if you were just gonna take a poll and quiz people and say you could have any sprayer on the planet, I think this one would rank pretty high.
Right. I've seen some awful strong resale in Hagie. I think out west, out in Nebraska, we saw the highest Hagie ever this winter. What have you guys been seeing, Luke, on good use sprayers here?
The same.
lately?
The late model, low-houred sprayers are doing really well. The Hagies are a pretty versatile machine. You can use them later into the season, so they add even more value there.
Okay.
And have a really good reputation, really well-built machines.
All right, sprayer time, Dan. This Hagie, this 17 model STS-12, 1,200 gallon. I think it's under 400 hours on this thing, right?
Yeah, really low hourage sprayer, Greg. Real popular model.
Now, I've seen some really high sprayers here of late, but when I was looking at STS-12s, I got back looking through our data, and guess who sold the highest one ever?
I know who you're gonna say.
That would be you, my friend. You remember that sale back in Homer, Illinois?
I'll never forget it. I remember our first sale 40 years ago, so I sure remember the sale in Homer, Illinois.
Yeah, I think it was,
The fall of 17, wasn't it, Greg?
yeah, November 21st, 2017. I think that was like almost a brand new one, a 16 model at the time, 561 hours. You guys got 287.5 out of it.
Right.
Now this thing, again, as the bidding creeps up, I think it came in just under that 283, but again, it's 3 years old. So another example here of a good late model, low-hour sprayer ringing the bell.
Yeah, just again, going back to what we've said so many different times, Greg, in our conversations, over the years, and it's really showing now with the buyer demand out there, and it's just unbelievable. Nice line of equipment, sprayer time, good time of year to be selling it. It's kind of the perfect storm for a $283,000 sprayer, real strong price.
Well, folks, you know what? 20 years ago, in the year 2000, the highest auction price all year on a skid steer was $28,250. But Luke, I think we might go a little bit past that today.
I hope so. I think we will. Actually, the pre-bidding's already taken off and it's up over that, so we're safe.
I'm sure, but this is 18 model?
18 model, Kubota, SVL, 95-2.
Hardly any hours on it.
It's got 134 or 35 hours on it.
So Jim maybe had bought this and he passed maybe a little suddenly and used it
Correct.
around the horse farm here.
I believe they had one real similar to it. They used one that they traded in and got a new one and never really got the chance to get a whole lot of use out of it.
Right. And tracks like we've talked about with
It's
planters,
got
combines.
Auxiliary hydraulics, power tack coupler, tracks, full cab on it, so loaded up.
Okay, Dan, we've got basically like a brand new skid steer here. This 2018 Kubota SVL 95-2, only 134 hours on it. Holy smokes. Not every day you get to sell one like this.
No, you don't, Greg. And just to sell one that's never, been on a livestock lot, it's never been abused. I mean, if it was sitting on a dealer's lot and you drove by and you'd swear to goodness it's brand new. I mean, it really nice skid steer, Greg.
Right. And what did the bid get up to on this one, like last night and this morning?
Last night, I think it was at like 49.5. I heard Luke and Matt, the sale managers, said it was like up to maybe 50 this morning. Didn't move a whole lot. But then kind of towards the last again, we see this last minute, this flurry of bidding and 21 different bidders. They just informed me, and it just closed for $60,500. The demand for these skid steers, Greg, is really a lot of demand for them. To buy one off of a farm like Gemini's Farms, and if you were down there, you can see how they kept things, asphalt drive, white vinyl fence, top-notch operation. The skid steer has never been in a livestock lot. It's never been, at a rental or on a construction site. Just very well maintained, and again, checked all the boxes for a record-setting sale.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
Machinery Pete TV, brought to you by Ag Direct. For simple, fast, and flexible equipment financing, ask for Ag Direct. Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.
This very sharp 2004 John Deere 8520 tractor with 3,670 hours on it sold for $113,000 on a September 12th farm auction down in southeast South Dakota. Now folks, $113K, that's the highest auction price on a Deere 8520 in 3.5 years. Now this continues a trend I've been talking and writing about a lot lately here, how these 10 to 20-year-old tractors, good condition, low hours, have just been red hot. Now you might ask yourself or ask me, hey, Machinery Pete, does the same trend hold with combines? 10 to 20 years old, low hours, good condition. Well, you don't have to guess, folks. Just go to MachineryPete.com, click on auction price data, and again, all this information, all these prices are free for you to hop in and look at. Now we've got very powerful and nimble search filters. So you can fill out a search filter and say, show me combines, 10 to 20 years old, and narrow it down and say, just show me the last 3 months. Now when you do that, it'll come up, at least today, and say there's 224 of them that fit that grouping. Now here's the most recent one, at least as I filmed this today. This actually sold today, September 16th. This 2002 John Deere 9550 with 3,600 engine hours on it brought 41.5 on an auction, farm auction in central Michigan. Now another combine in this age range that caught my eye last week was this one, a 2006 Case Age 2388, 3,060 engine hours on it. This sold on an online farm auction September 9th, Northeast Iowa, went for $47,000. Now again, you can use our search filters in different ways here in the auction price data. You can say, show me the highest 10 to 20-year-old combines that have sold the last 3 months. Now when you do that, here's what you come up with. You can see we've got a pair of them tied at the top at $181,000. So back on June 23rd, on a farm auction in Northeast Illinois, this 2010 Case H 7120 with 1,460 engine hours on it, again, brought 181K. And then on August 15th, down in Southwest Illinois, this 2010 John Deere 9770 STS, only 820 engine hours on it. And by the way, the sale bill said nicest one in Illinois, which I think is accurate. Again, also sold for $181,000. Hey, welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week, we have got a great family tractor story to share with you. This Farmall M spent many hours on the farm. Fortunately, it remained a family tractor and is now working with the third generation of the Eddy family.
It's a 1953 Farmall Super M. I restored it just a couple of years ago. It's one of the later Super M's, so it has the battery box under the seat. It's got live hydraulics and all that stuff. This tractor was my great-grandpa's. He bought it when it was a year old in 1954 from a local guy that bought two 53 Super M's. And actually this one was purchased here at the local tractor dealer in International, Ed Huffman's, so it's been a local tractor all of its life. Dad actually worked out a deal and he worked the tractor out, worked for Grandpa for a summer to get the tractor. When I graduated 8th grade, the tractor was sitting in the corner of the shed and it wasn't running at the time, and he said, you know, that tractor needs something done with it. He said, if you can get it running, you can have it. I went over and polished the points and filed the distributor cap a little bit and poured fresh gas in it and pulled the switch, and it didn't turn over half a crank and fired right up. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and we went down to the Greenville, the tractor show at the Farm Heritage Museum in Greenville, and they had a Stradium, and it had duals on it, 9-bolt duals, and I told the dad, I said, that's something I want one day. Well, at the time I didn't know this was going to end up mine, and when it ended up mine, I run across the set of dual hubs on Craigslist, and I had a set of fenders. With it set into 30-inch rows, there's only a little gap between the seats, so you couldn't hardly get on and off the seat with the fenders on it. With a little trading, I traded the fenders for a set of dual hubs. Then a local guy had the duals, and I went down and got the duals while all the tires were junk. So Dad and Grandpa helped me change the tires over on the duals, and now I've got pretty decent dual tires and pretty decent inside tires on the tractor. It's the only thing I've got that was my great-grandpa's, so it won't ever leave the family.
Hey, stay with us, folks. Coming up, our feature item on our online-only auction from Morris, Illinois today, a 2018 John Deere DB60 36-row 20-inch.
Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
All right, folks, time for our feature item on the sale today. It's planter time. Luke, tell us about this rig. Pretty sharp.
Yeah, it is. This is a 2018 John Deere DB60 36-row 20-inch planter. So they used it 2 seasons, did about 2,000 acres a year with it, so it's got about 4,000 total acres on it. Set up really nicely. It's got the new MaxEmerge 5 style row units,
Okay.
And they're all electric drive, so that's
Yeah.
kind of neat. There's no
Okay.
hex shafts or hydraulic motors. It's got the power generator that goes on the tractor to power everything, pneumatic downforce, no-till coulters, and about as clean of a planter as you'd find anywhere.
All right, Dan, time for our feature item on the show today, our online auction out of Morris, Illinois for Gemini Farms. A beautiful planter, a 2018 John Deere DB60, 36-row 20-inch, just over 4,200 acres. Curious what you've been seeing used planter here market the last year or two. I mean, tough times in ag, but you've seen demand on good used planters?
Yeah, tough time in agriculture, Greg, but it goes back to what we say so many times when we have our conversations with you, Greg, but supply and demand, condition is everything. And the planters is something that we were looking back on some sale results. We have some pretty large equipment auctions coming up, and looking back on past prices in 2015, 16, and 17, and now what planters are doing today. And planters are without a doubt quite a bit stronger than they were even 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it seems like the farmers, the dollars they have available, ROI, if a new planter or a new really good used planter can make them better, seems like they're willing to write that check.
Yeah, they sure are.
Now I'm curious on this one, Dan, online only here. Like, how many bidders do you have on this thing?
Greg, this particular bidder, we're just kind of getting these results as these lots are closing, but we had 23 different bidders on this planter. 23 different people. There's 26 bids came in the last 5 minutes. So 23 different bidders, 26 bids in the last 5 minutes. So that kind of gives you that stands alone. That tells you the demand out there in these planters. So we were shocked with what it finally brought, 252,000 a little bit ago.
Yeah, Dan, that might be the best description I could ever give on the used planter market. You just got 26 bids in the last 5 minutes, came in at 252. Last 30 years, I've seen over 15,000 planters sold, 252,000. That's the highest auction price I've ever seen on a planter.
That just goes back what we've been talking about, Greg, and spot on when you talk about supply and demand and condition, and with that many bidders and that much flurry in the last 5 minutes, it has the ingredients and checks all the boxes for a record-setting price on a planter.
Well, folks, in case you were wondering how sale prices compare on an online-only farm auction versus a traditional sale, I think we showed you today with this online-only farm estate auction just southwest of Chicago by our great friends at Sullivan Auctioneers. Wow, the bidding, highest auction price I've ever seen on a planter, and we also watched the highest auction price ever on a Kubota skid steer. Now, folks, I'll see you back here next week on Machinery Pete TV, but remember, if you or your buddies want to check out any auction prices, any piece of equipment, just go to our website, MachineryPete.com. We got over 700,000 sale prices there, now free. Hop in, knock yourself out. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit SullivanAuctioneers.com.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.